Good evening, everyone. We are Group C. Here is our group member, Gavino, Bilachan, Fatir Filbert, and Faik Fadul. So today we will present our final project called LM358 Mobile Phone Detector Circuit. Our project focus on designing a simple electronic circuit that can detect uh, nearby mobile phone activity using the LM358 operational amplifier. Next. Okay, nowadays, mobile phone continuously emit RF or radio frequency signals during calling, texting, receiving calls, and using mobile data. So in this project, we try to create a simple detector circuit that can recognize those RF signals without decoding any communication data. The main challenge is that the RF signal received from the phone is very weak, so we need amplification and proper signal processing. Another problem is environmental interference because other electronic devices can also produce electromagnetic noise. Therefore, our main question is how can the LM358 detector circuit identify nearby phone activity and provide indication using LED and buzzer outputs? Next. Okay, in this slide shows the overall circuit specification. The main IC used is the LM358 operational amplifier with a 4.5 to 5 volt DC supply. The input source comes from RF signal emitted by active mobile phone. Since real RF signal are difficult to simulate directly in LTSpice, we replace the antenna input with a pulse signal source during simulation, and the output indicators are an LED and buzzer, while the BC548 transistor is used as the output driver. Next. Okay, next is the component selection. For component selection, we mainly use LM358 and BC548 transistor. The LM358 is suitable because it works with low voltage and single supply operation. It also contains two op-amp in one IC, making the circuit simpler and compact. Meanwhile, the PC548 transistor is used as the switching stage for the LED and buzzer because it can handle higher current than the op-amp output directly. The key advantage is that the LM358 can process weak signals effectively, while the BC548 allows reliable output switching. Next. Okay, in this slide shows the complete list of components used in the project. Some important components are LM358 op-amp, BC548 resistors, capacitors, buzzer, LED, and wire antenna. We also use LTSPI software for circuit simulation. Next. Okay, data collection and system overview. The slide explains the overall project setup. We use a large motor and sound level method to observe environmental condition. The system itself consists of several stages. First, the antenna receives the RF signal, then the capacitor filters the signal. After that, the LM358 acts as comparator, and finally, the transistor activates the LED and buzzer. Next. Next is the electromagnetic pickup stage. The antenna acts as the RF signal receiver. When a nearby phone becomes active and electromagnetic disturbances are captured by the antenna, it in real implementation, even a simple wire can work as an antenna. However, in LT-SPICE, real electromagnetic propagation cannot be modeled perfectly. Because of that, we replace the antenna with a pulse voltage source to simulate incoming RF disturbance. Next is the comparator stage. At this stage, the LM358 works like a comparator. It compares the voltage Pin, which comes from the detected signal, and Vref, which is the reference voltage. If the detected voltage crosses the threshold condition, the output changes state. This high or low output will determine whether the phone is detected or not. Next. Okay, for the next slide will be presented by Bilal.
Okay, I will continue the next slide. So this is the transistor output stage, which is the comparator output is connected to the BC548 transistor. When the op-amp output becomes high, the current flows into the transistor base, causing the transistor to turn on. As the result, the LED lights up and the buzzer sounds. But when the comparator output is low, the transistor stays off, so the LED and buzzer remain inactive. The next is the antenna length calculation. In this slide shows the antenna length calculation, and in the calculation we assume the phone frequency is around 900 MHz. Using the wavelength equation, lambda equals c divided by frequency, we obtain a wavelength of around 33.3 centimeters. Then using a quarter wave antenna approximation, the antenna length becomes approximately 8.3 centimeters. Okay, the next is the capacitor reactance. In the slides, it will explain the capacitor reactance calculation. The capacitor near the antenna blocks DC component but allows changing signal to pass. At low frequency, uh, the reactance is higher, but at RF frequency, the reactance becomes extremely small, meaning the signals can pass more easily through the capacitor. However, the LM358 does not amplify the gigahertz RF carrier directly. Instead, it reacts to the small disturbance to envelope created by the RF activity. Next is the reference voltage calculation. It shows the reference voltage calculation using a voltage divider. Using equal resistor values, we obtain a reference voltage of approximately 2.25 volts. This voltage acts as the threshold voltage for the comparator operation. Next is the LED and power supply calculation. In here, we calculate the LED current and the power supply stage. For the LED current, using Ohm's law, the current is around 2.5 milliamps, which is within safe operating range, and the power supply circuit converts AC voltage into regulated DC voltage around 5 volts using a rectifier, filter capacitor, and regulator stages. And the next is the software design and pulse signal. In here we use LT-Spice to simulate the detector circuit. Since real RF signals cannot be perfectly simulated, we used a pulse source to represent RF disturbance. The pulse parameters define rise time, fall-in time, and on duration and period. This pulse does not represent the actual gigahertz carrier but only envelope or disturbance effect produced by nearby phone activity.
Okay, next is simulation result analysis. In the simulation, when the pulse input is active, fin becomes lower than frif, causing the comparator output to become high. This turns on the transistor, LED, and buzzer, indicating phone detection. When the pulse is absent, the comparator output becomes low, and the outputs remain off. The simulation confirms that the transistor output stage responds correctly. Next. Next is visibility proof. Even though RF behavior cannot be fully simulated, the project visibility can still be validated in several ways. First, through datasheet compatibility. Second, through manual calculation showing safe operation values. Third, through block-by-block simulation. And finally, through physical prototype testing using an actual mobile phone near the antenna. Okay, next. Next is circuit design. This slide shows the complete detector circuit and this power supply circuit. The detector section includes the antenna, comparator, transistor, driver, LED, and buzzer. The power supply section converts AC source into stable DC voltage for the circuit operation. Next is PCB design. These slides show PCB design and layout. The PCB helps make the circuit more compact, organized, and easier to assemble compared to breadboard implementation. Next is power supply simulation. This simulation result shows the AC source, DC ripple voltage, and final regulated DC output. From the graph, we can see that the circuit successfully produced a stable DC voltage around 5 volts.
So I will carry on with the presentation. So this is the LM, the phone detector circuit that we created. As we can see here, there are some capacitors. This is used for to store the current that is generated by the battery, or in this case, we will replace the battery with the 5 or 4.5 volt DC AC that we generate from the power supply circuit. And then there's a comparator that we use for switching mechanism. So the negative input of the op-amp acts as the V reference, and the positive acts as the V input. So and then the node that is connected to the negative input of the op-amp is connected to the antenna. So when the antenna detects a signal, it will send small signal that will make the negative input of the op-amp higher, so the comparator will turn on. And then it's connected to a BJT. We use BC547. This BJT is used to strengthen the current so that it can turn on the LED when the device detects the signal. Next. So this is the prototype that we already created. We successfully did some tests on this prototype, and it worked perfectly. And also the demonstration of our prototype video will be shown after this presentation. Next. So this actually the short conclusion of our project. So the project aims to detect nearby mobile phone activity using a simple RF detection circuit. Although it can also detect, technically it can detect 4G signals, but it works perfectly for 2G and 3G. And in real RF antenna behavior, it's actually quite different. So to simulate perfectly, because the electromagnetic wave propagation cannot be fully represented in LT-SPICE, but can still use the logic using the LT-SPICE and the Proteus so that it can mimic the real circuit. So the simple logic is we need the RF detection. So when it detects nearby phone RF activity, the LED on buzzer will activate during the detection. And also for the simulation limitation, like I said before, because we don't use real antenna for the Proteus, but in reality it can still be implemented. And the logic, when the VN is smaller than VREF, then the phone detected. When its VN is bigger than it's now detected. So we use also the LM358 for the op-amp, like I said before, for the switching mechanism, and also BC547. It should be 547 or 548 for strengthening the current, and then other physical requirements. I think that's all from our group. Thank you so much for your attention, Mr. Arif. Ini sirkuitnya kayak gini, Pak. ini harus dipakai HP, connect dulu. Nah itu dia bakal nyala sirkuitnya. Nah pas kita matiin langsung mati.